Hey, what's up? This is Chosen in honor of the Morrigan Fusion wrapping up and coming up to the end of the year. I have been having this on my mind for a while, and I wanted to get the Fusions tier list for Legendary Champions up to date because I think it's fun to have that as a point of reference every time there is a new Fusion champion being revealed with their kit and stuff, and then I can try to like place them on this list to try and give some context as to how they rank compared to some of the Fusions that we see coming in Raid Shadow Legends. So that's what we're going to do here, is talk about this and get these ranked. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so we'll dive in here and we'll just kind of work our way from left to right, top to bottom. Astralon. Now, Astralon, I mean, he's pretty solid. He was kind of Raid trying to start with like certain champions countering certain factions and stuff, which hasn't ended up really bearing a whole lot of fruit in terms of people focusing on that. They'll probably have to make that a little bit more robust, make those bonuses a little bit bigger. But Astralon's fine. He's got the AoE stun. He can hit pretty hard. Oh, let's see. Bivald. I mean, he's fine. I don't know. I'll adjust these at the end. I thought Iron Braga was pretty solid. He was a cool champion. Almost like the bottom of A. I need to see how this fleshes out to kind of move stuff around. Brackus, I believe he was like a Halloween event fusion or something. We saw him a lot on like arena defenses, like a Morta Macabre or so. Like a Morta Macabre currently. But he's kind of fallen out of the meta, so yeah, somewhere around there. Brogni, obviously, one of the best fusions Raid's ever done, but he was one of the hardest fusions as well. Then Killian. You know, I've got to put some champions in the F. It can't just be Pixneal. So we'll go there. Oh, geez. What is it? This is like Drakgol or something. I mean, he's okay as like a decent progression support. You know, Elgato ended up not being as good as we kind of thought on paper. So I'll have to go rate him kind of low. Foley was Foley's kind of aged well. I think he was a solid fusion. He was really tough too. He was one of the first fusions that Plarium did, and they got a lot of backlash for the Foley fusion back in the day. He was a really tough one to finish. Gaius, I think he's pretty solid. Right up there in that kind of similar vein as Foley. Gerptuk, he's got some good utility in that like Iron Brago vein. He can be kind of fun. Harvest Jack was Plarium introducing the fear mechanic to the game for Halloween a few years ago, and he was pretty solid when he came out. He's Darth pulled him against me on his second Ancient Shard in our free-to-play competition. He's very good for a progression account to help kind of CC the waves and lower their speed and stuff. He's also a strong affinity against Force, which is going to help your starting champion. So it was a great pull for Darth. And the overall scheme of the game at this point, I don't know that he's super great. We'll probably start right there. Helikath is awesome. I like. Some people would argue he's like a top 25 champion in the game. So I think that was a really solid fusion that they brought. He's in a lot of different compositions in like Iron Twins and stuff like that. So really a cool champion. Then Herndig, I thought they did a pretty good job with the Herndig fusion. He can be a Nightmare Campaign farmer, Hydra, damage dealer. Everybody uses him in Dwarf Faction Wars. So I think he's got a really cool role in the game. Contra has really aged well and been being used a lot in like Hydra and stuff like that. Karato didn't quite hit the mark. I'd say he's like down here. He just didn't end up getting used nearly as often as people thought. Kreela was really good for a while. Is starting to kind of fall off lately. Lona Theral, again, didn't quite hit the mark. Kind of similar to like a Bivald, where it can be solid, but Molly was really strong for a while and has really fallen out of favor in the last year and a half or so. But at the time of her fusion was a pretty solid champion, kind of similar to like a Brago type right there. Mighty Uko, definitely, I think a really solid, is going to end up towards the bottom of S, top of A, just a super solid fusion champion. Mother Sibylle, which everybody yells at me every time I say that word, but that's how Wikipedia says to say Sibylle on Mother Sibylle. So you know what? You're gonna have to take it up with the overlords at Google and Wikipedia if you think I'm lying there. But anyway, Mother Sibylle, I think I think she's been getting used a little bit more lately. I see her a lot in some of those arena defenses and stuff, so I think she's a pretty cool champion. Nari just didn't end up getting used very much at all. Same with Opard and Clanfather. You know, Barbarian is one of the easier factions to clear for Faction Wars and just kind of missed the mark. And there we go with Pixneo. Now, speaking of Pixneo, we are coming up on the Holiday Fusion being announced pretty soon here, probably within the next few weeks. So hopefully they come out with a hyped up Fusion champion that is in the Sylvan Watchers. Hopefully we get like a winter themed wood elf. That would be kind of cool. Wood elves, maybe they don't fit the best with the winter aesthetic, but hey, it'd be kind of fun to get a Fusion champion that's really hyped up for the new faction. Ryzen, I mean, he was really, really good back in the day. Adding Ryzen as a permanent fusion was probably one of the coolest things that Plarium ever did for the game. I think that was an awesome addition. You know, I'd put him similar to like Contra. Can be solid, but isn't like some god tier champion, and he's kind of been power crept a little bit. Rorik is going to be similar to Opardin, I think, kind of in that tier. You know, I want to try to have these spread out a little bit. I don't just want to rank everybody as B tier. Rotos, definitely S tier. He was an absolutely game-changing champion when he came out. You know, there's more options now for damage dealing. There, you know, is like Leorius and stuff coming to the so. You know, it's tough. I definitely going to put him in S tier. Maybe not quite the PvE utility of Brogni, but definitely awesome. And then we've got Rule. Rule, yeah, I mean, I'd have to slide him up a little bit because we're getting more and more stuff to work with Hex, so I'm going to place him right there for now. Shamrock was actually the fusion going on when I downloaded Raid and started playing. So it was one of the very first ones. I missed like the Cernic one, and then Shamrock was right after that. Because I started playing in March of 2019, and Shamrock was their first St. Patrick's Day fusion. So his kit really isn't that bad on paper, but he didn't end up seeing a whole lot of play. Sigmund is pretty solid. I'm gonna place him like in that Iron Brago tier. I think he's a pretty cool champion. Sir Nick at the time was up here. You know, Sir Nick they did as like a fusion for the beta as a prize for the people that participated in the Raid Shadow Legends beta, and it was super easy to finish. It was like uncommons or something to fuse Sir Nick, and he was really god tier when he came out. Now he is sliding down the board a little bit, similar to that Ryzen vein, where he's really good for early accounts, but has really been power crept a little bit. Skull Lord of Argol, I mean, you do see him in some like arena defenses. He was even featured in some platinum arena defenses for a while, but I think he has slid down the board. Tatura, I think, was a really good one. I would put this up at like low S, top A. Was one that I actually got screwed and missed out on, so I wish I wouldn't have. Now, Torment at the time was definitely god tier. He was just completely wrecking and destroying the arena meta when he came out. Now there's a little bit more options to deal with him and stuff like that, so we'll probably slide him down in like that Foley tier. Vergamcar, yeah, definitely gonna be somewhere down here. Just did not end up seeing any play. Was kind of designed to be like an anti-provoke type champion. And let me zoom this in a little bit better here to crop this. Versolf, I think, is underrated. I think he's very, very solid. I'd put him similar to that like Contra Ryzen tier. I think he can be a really cool champion when used right. Vlad, some people swear by him and always say that I rank him too low. I don't really see him being some sort of game changer. I'd probably put Vlad like, oh, I mean, somewhere right there. And then Walking Tomb just didn't end up seeing as much play as we thought. I'd put him in that like Karato tier. Yoshi does get used. So I'm going to put Yoshi somewhere up there, like slightly above Astralon. Let's go like right there. And then Marinix, the new one. This was the one that happened while I flew out to TwitchCon, and I was like, screw it, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to skip the Marinix fusion while I'm out of town. So Marinix is technically a decent champion. Probably goes like slightly ahead of Kreela. And then the new one, I think, is pretty solid. Probably going to be high B. You know, somewhere around there with like Sigmund and stuff. Probably, I'd maybe even go like right there. I think Morrigan can be pretty solid. So now, okay, how do I feel about this? You know, I'd almost go Hernig in the S tier. I think he's really cool to have on your account. I think he was a really good fusion event that everybody should have made sure to get, because he's got some interesting ways to use him on your account. I probably should slide a few up into that A tier. I'm probably gonna go like Morrigan, And Yoshi was at least like a new fusion, and it's tough because it's like, do I rank them based on the landscape when they came out, or do I rank them now? I kind of want to tend towards doing it now to make things current. So I'd probably go, I want to put a little bit more up top. I'm okay with things skewing a little bit towards being negative, but probably I think Contra is really solid. She's got a lot of use in the Hydra and stuff. Versolf, Razen can be a damage dealer in the clan boss as well. Is tanky. You're gonna use him in Lizardman Faction Wars, so something like that. Do I want does anybody deserve to be S? Some people are probably gonna say Tatura maybe. Tormund is kind of game changing to have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel okay about this. Maybe Mother Sibylle slides up a little bit. I see her a little bit more often than those. Let's see. I think this came out mostly well for an initial voyage into getting this updated and getting these fusions ranked. Now, obviously, I'm gonna go through and try to keep this up. I end up doing a lot of tier lists on my channel. I love doing spreadsheets and set rankings and champion rankings and tier lists and stuff like that. So definitely let me know down below, because I do revisit topics like this every few months and keep them as up to date as possible as I can here on the channel. So definitely, if you take the time down below to let me know where you agree or disagree, I always appreciate that feedback. And yeah, I'll attach a picture of this down below if you would like to pull it up as well and take a look at it. So as always, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.